So the final and the third advertorial type is a value-based advertorial. The name speaks for itself here. In this advertorial format, you need to provide value. When visitors land on your page, they expect to gain something valuable from the time spent here. Um, and you might have seen already like articles similar online offering maybe 25 recipes for this summer, 5 exercises to relieve your knee pain, uh, 8 foods to eat to improve your sleep, and so on. And it basically follows a similar style, but in the end, you tie it back to your product. So the listicle is somehow related to the product, and then in a clever way, you seamlessly introduce the product as like the all-in-one, the ultimate solution. So there are two primary ways to achieve this. So you can either address a specific topic, so offer valuable insights on a particular topic and address common concerns or interests shared by your audience. So whether it's sharing a home remedy for a blocked nose, tips on repelling bugs during the summer, or the number one method to fall asleep faster. So this focuses on delivering practical solutions like to real life problems. Or you can create a listicle, which I think is a better option because it's more engaging. People are more used to it. And remember, your editorial shouldn't look like an ad or a sales page. So with a listicle, it's a great and an engaging way to make it happen. So present information in a list format, offering a simple guide to addressing a specific issue. So it could be 6 signs your body needs a detox, and then offer a detox supplement. 4 ways to relieve your dog's joint pain at home, and in the on like either the number 3 or number 4, you can introduce your solution, or 5 reasons people are ditching. I don't know, jeans for these joggers. Or you get the point. You basically choose the mainstream solution alternative people are using, and or like from our previous lesson, we can say 5 reasons people are throwing out their fire extinguishers for this mini fire anti-fire spray or something like that. Great curiosity. And remember, your audience is seeking solutions to their problems, and they've turned to you for help. So they saw that you have something they might find valuable. So don't piss them off, don't lose their trust, and don't disappoint them. Give them actually valuable information, a valuable listicle. Don't give them just generic tips everyone knows. Like, don't say drink more water, get better sleep. Like, everyone knows that they can solve pretty much any health problem you have, but be more specific, more unique to what you're sharing. And also, by offering actionable advice and practical solutions, you keep your audience engaged and motivated to the next step, and you also gain their trust. And eventually, you'll lead them to your product, and they'll see it as the ultimate solution to their problem. So in the header, set the tone right. After reading the headline and looking at the header image, they should understand they're going to benefit from the information if they read this article. So align the header with the overall theme of your editorial. Make it clear that they stand to benefit from investing time and reading this editorial. And ultimately, the goal of the header is to create a sense of excitement or finally finding or making them think that they're finally finding what they've been looking for. And yeah, by setting the right tone for the start, yeah, you'll get high quality audience that most likely are interested in your product, will be interested in your product, and you'll maximize engagement and ensure that your value-based editorial resonates with your audience. So here are a few examples. Give your dogs these 8 ingredients to eliminate their joint pain, and in the end, you'll basically say, this company has created these chews that have all these 8 ingredients into one delicious bacon flavored chew. And here you can see this new all natural bug repellent keeps flies and mosquitoes and annoying insects far away without toxic chemicals. So it introduces and reveals the product right away. It basically says how it works and how the mainstream solutions have chemicals, they have a nasty smell, um, and they often don't work, and how this is much better. Double the life of your flowers into 30 seconds with this genius new vase. Here's how anyone can turn dry, cracked, unsightly feet into baby soft glowing feet in 1 hour. Four most common signs your dog is silently suffering from joint pain. So um, they might not know it. They might have suspicions, but they might not know like 100% that their dog has joint pain. So they will read the article, and if they realize that the dog does have joint pain, then you introduce the solution, and it will basically emphasize on how important it is to act now, act early, and don't let the situation get worse. That's another clever way to use listicles. Or this ancient acupuncture point is the new secret to all naturally relieving headaches, neck pain, stress, and insomnia. So basically, people with headaches, frequent headaches, will see this. Some highlighted point in the back of their head. They'll be curious, maybe like if they press it, hold it, then their headache will just go away. Yeah, so in the lead, I talked about this in the previous lesson. Now that you've got your reader's attention with an engaging headline and an eye-catching header image, it's time to keep that attention and keep it going to get people to read your editorial. So don't start with something boring that will easily instantly turn off the reader. Don't say something boring like most articles use in today's modern world. There's this issue. Basically, put one eye-catching, one maybe curiosity spiking sentence at the start of your lead. So the purpose of the first sentence is to make them read the second sentence, and the purpose of the second sentence is to get them to read the third sentence, and so on. So each sentence should encourage the reader to read the next sentence. It should make them curious. It should make them want to read and discover like what happens next, what's the solution, and like how can they finally find relief from their problem. So your goal is to hook them with what you're about to reveal in the lead. So challenge their common beliefs, connect on a personal level, or simply spark their curiosity. Keep them on the edge of their seat and eager to continue reading. Here's an analogy from Joseph Sugarman. In his book, The Adweek Copywriting Handbook, Joseph Sugarman talked about how you should compare the reader going through your copy like going down a slippery slope. It has to flow smoothly and needs to take the reader from the top of to the bottom of the page without any bumps on the way down that might stop them. Imagine there's an obstacle like sand or an expected bump on a slope you're going down. It would only slow you down and potentially want you to jump off the slope. But if your copy, and it's similar with your copy, like if there's a clunky sentence, something hard to understand, and a weird phrase or a word or something that might completely turn them off, they might want to click off the page. So, if your copy flows without interruption, it's like sliding down a slippery slope. Momentum builds, making it increasingly difficult for the reader to stop and leave the page. And by the time they reach the end of your editorial, stopping becomes unthinkable. So remember, your writing should offer a fluid, captivating experience, ensuring the reader glides from the beginning to the end without hesitation. So here are a few examples. So here's a quote. Here's a quote that might catch the attention and might want to make the reader read the entire editorial. So I was in such extreme pain. I could hardly stand on my feet. My knees were swollen. Really bad, extensive pain. And since I've had this device, I've been able to move around quite a bit. I just like to let you know it's amazing. It was the best decision I've made. So people with the same problem, with the same knee pain, the same pain, basically will see it and be curious about finding what's the device, what did they do, how did they relieve their pain, how they, like maybe the reader has been trying for years or months, and they haven't found success. But now they found someone with the same problem who found success, and they'll be curious to read it. Or the first sentence: it's time to we debunk the age-old myth surrounding Botox. So there are many women who are aging; they want to look younger, and the most common solution is Botox. So there, you will get them curious about what's the myth about Botox. So while many are drawn to its promise for younger looking skin, it's not the only solution. So they say, okay, there's a different solution, a much simpler, safer, and more efficient, and they'll be curious because Botox is expensive, it's temporary. You need to go get it again every few months or every year. I don't know really, but you get the point. Or this is about the joint pain. In the wild, this is about dogs joint pain. So in the wild, a wolf showing signs of weakness or injury can be left behind the pack. This instinctual need to hide vulnerabilities is deep-rooted and passed down from generation to generation. It's survival. Today, our dogs still carry that instinct. So this would explain why they have suspicions about their dogs having joint pain, but they don't have clear evidence. They don't see the clear signs. So they'll be curious about what the actual signs are of the dog experiencing joint pain and how they can help. So luckily, there are 4 unmistakable signs of joint pain in dogs. So next, if possible, if the brand you're writing for, or if it's your brand, if your brand has an authority figure, use it, introduce it in the advertorial. It will help a lot with trust and credibility, and it will also help position you in a much better position to explain the problem and to provide value and educate. So, for example, here you can see an example. Meet the injured U.S. Marine who became a doctor and relieved his terrible knee pain in just 50 minutes a day. So, doctor's journey from a U.S. Marine to a well-respected doctor of physical therapy is nothing short of extraordinary. After serving our country as a U.S. Marine, his knees were shot. So that's like a dramatic story. First of all, it grabs their attention by saying there's a doctor who suffered from a bad injury. Then he turned into a doctor, and it took just 15 minutes a day for him to find relief. And it starts with a dramatic story about how he suffered with the problem and how he tried everything, but then it took a unique turn, and he turned like it became his life's purpose to relieve his pain, and now he's offering the same solution to everyone. So if you're suffering from knee pain, they'll just naturally make you curious about what helped him and what is he offering you. And then next, you provide the actual value. So if you don't have a listicle, you can explain the root cause of dog joint pain or some other complicated topic that the customer might not understand fully. So the root cause of dog joint pain. It's easy to assume that only older dogs suffer from such conditions, but that's far from the truth. Dogs at any age can experience joint pain for various reasons. So what exactly is causing your dog joint pain? It's 2 things: inflammation, then it explains how inflammation causes joint pain, and cartilage breakdown. And then it also explains here. And then basically it ties back to how it introduces the product and then explains how it tackles these 2 factors to help your dog with their joint pain. Or in my opinion, much better way and more engaging way is to create a valuable listicle that eventually leads to your product. So 5 signs your dog is suffering from joint pain, 4 types of back pain and how to relieve each type, 7 reasons you should be taking an ice bath regularly, and then you can sell an ice bath. 8 benefits of red light therapy, or you can explain if you're selling like a red light therapy torch or a pen, you can try a specific angle. Maybe like it helps with skin skin problems, hair loss, pain, and then you could say, hey, here's how this shiny torch can, or like here are 8 benefits, 8 ways or 8 reasons why this shiny torch can help you stop your hair loss or help you relieve your pain, or 5 ways to repel mosquitoes this summer. And yeah, as one of the ways you can introduce your product. For example, number 4 or number 5, when it's towards the end, you can use it as suggesting your product and make it sound way more superior than the other choices you have mentioned. So here's an example. So the root cause of dog joint pain. Yeah, so basically explains the same thing as here, but it's much shorter, and then it basically goes into the details of the 4 signs your dog is suffering from joint pain, and then basically describes each sign, and then explains it more deeply why this sign is actually happening. So for example, they're licking, chewing, or biting their joints. Dogs experience discomfort in their joints. They instinctively try to soothe the area by licking, chewing, or biting at it. It's a way for them to address the pain, even if it's just momentarily. Frequent attention to a specific area, especially if it's not related to a visible wound, can be indicated underlying joint pain. The act of licking can provide temporary relief, much like how we might rub a sore spot. Continuously chewing or biting, however, can lead to skin irritation. So basically, it explains the sign, what to look out for, and why they are doing it, and what does the sign mean. And if any of these resonate with the reader, they'll be curious about what's the next step. So then you move on to the solution, the product review. So once you provide the value and educate your reader about the problem, it's time to introduce the solution. This is where you seamlessly transition to presenting your product as the answer to their needs. For example, if you've discussed the various benefits of ice therapy, you can then introduce your ice bath product as an effective way to experience the benefit from the comfort of your home. In a similar way, if you highlighted 8 ingredients for joint pain, you can reveal your joint supplement that combines all of these 8 ingredients into one tiny capsule, or if it's for dogs, one tiny chew. And by aligning your product directly with the value and knowledge you've provided, you strengthen the relevance and the effectiveness of your product. Because now your customer is smarter after you've educated them and provided value, which means they'll also be an easier person to sell to, because they understand the root cause of the problem, and they understand what they need to do, not what they need to do, but what they need to tackle to actually relieve the problem. So here's an example. So the next step, so this is for the 4 signs of dog joint pain. So the next step after identifying your dog's joint pain, seeing your once lively pup now silently bearing the weight of joint pain can be truly heartbreaking. Every dog parent dreams of watching their canine buddy sprinting with joy in the park, or excitedly chasing their favorite ball again. But joint pain can rob them of these simple pleasures. Luckily, there's hope. This brand has recently discovered a groundbreaking solution. Their bacon-flavored chews. These chews have quickly become popular for their power in eliminating joint pain. So they move on to a subtle first call to action for everyone who's already curious to learn more, or they're ready to buy. They can click. So it's the first call to action. You can combine it with a product reveal, or you can make it as a separate section. And for everyone who's still curious about the product and how it can actually help with the problem, you go into more detail, how it works. For example, it makes sense here because you mentioned 4 signs of dog joint pain, and now you introduce a product, and now you introduce how the product works. But if you, for example, here in this example, you explain 8 ingredients that help with dog joint pain, then you introduce a product that combines all 8 ingredients into one chew. So here you go into much more detail, explain the root cause of the joint pain in much more detail, what causes it, how to fix it, how it makes them feel, and then how carefully this solution is formulated to attack the root cause. Use GIFs, use images to help them understand better, to help them learn better. And here's a much more simple example for the bug repelling device. So the travel bug fan does not rely on chemicals, zapping, sticky traps, or smelly citronella. Instead, it pairs two bug-frightening technologies to scare the bugs away, and keeps them away 360 degrees around you. First of all, the constant motion of the blade keeps flies away. It's like when you swat flies away from your plate at the barbecue. Expect you don't have to lift a finger, and it's always protecting you. The second, even more powerful technology is the holographic reflection created by the blades. This distracts light, creating a blinding appearance the bugs absolutely hate. Although the fan is whisper quiet, small, and attractive to humans, it terrifies flying pests so much that they steer clear altogether. So it's a simple way to describe how it works, and also include, if it's a device, it's useful to include how it works. So some people might be like afraid that it will cause a headache or it will be too complicated to use. So it's always useful to break it down step by step how it works. Then you can include social proof. There are many different things you can include here. One is statistics, how many products have been sold, how many satisfied customers, what's the average star rating, some quotes from authority figures, experts, reviews, testimonials. If you've been on any TV shows or magazines, you can put a banner as seen on. Use visuals, put icons when you put like social proof. For example, if you have 4.7 star rating, put like a star icon. If you have a money back guarantee, put like 100%, and then say full money back guarantee. Or if you have, let's say it's 100% natural, you can put 100% natural there, and like an image of something like a check mark or all natural, something that represents all natural. And use visuals, use photos of customers with your product, use GIFs if you have any. Maybe you have screenshots of social media comments. And you can also include a table like this, showing us versus them, basically your product versus either a competitor or an alternative. Then you can also split test customer stories. In a social proof, you can include like 100 to 300 word long story from a customer of their experience, what they felt, how they heard about the product, and then how the product actually helped them relieve the problem. And an important note, which I've also explained in the previous lessons, is that don't overdo it, don't overstuff it with social proof, because you got to remember, like, imagine how your customer experience feels like. You don't want to make them scroll for ages to get through the social proof. Maybe they're already ready to buy. So don't put more than needed, basically. Put 3 reviews instead of 10. This like us versus them, make it 5 to 7 like aisles long. Don't make it like 10 aisles, 15 aisles long. As seen on, also make it like short. Make it easy to consume, basically. For the story, yeah, you can make it longer, so it's more relatable and resonates with the audience more. And if there's something like if there's, let's say there's a lot of social proof you have, and you want to include it all, include the most important things here, and save the rest for later, because you can include more social proof at the end of the tutorial. So if you have a lot, save it for later. So after social proof, you can describe how the life will look like to the customer after using the product. Go deep, like go beyond the regular benefit. So if it's knee pain, don't say, like for example, feature has 3 therapies that relieve knee pain. So what? So they won't have knee pain anymore. So what? So they be able to walk again pain-free, walk up the stairs and down the stairs without pain, without cringing. They'll be able to play with their grandkids. They'll be able to pick back up their hobbies. Basically, encourage the reader to imagine the new possibilities that will open up as they use your product and solve the issue. Here's an example you can look over. A few of the examples. For example, here's a story, my story, how this device made me fall in love with my skin again. See, like, what pain points she experienced, what methods she tried, and how then she tried the product and how everything changed, how simple and great it was to use, what are the benefits, the step-by-step breakdown. You can include this right after your social proof as well, because you don't have to say, imagine how your life will look like. You can instead just share a story, and the reader will, if they share the same problem, they will automatically just imagine themselves in that scenario of like how life will look like once they solve the issue. Yeah, after that, after you've basically given your social proof, and once you've made them paint the picture of what life will look like after using your product, you answer the questions, like you answer the question of where can I buy it. So if your advertorial is written well, many people will be already ready to buy it, and they will just want to go to checkout or on the next sales page. So yeah, this is for the same section of life after using the product. You can combine it with a close. So you might remind them of the pain points, paint a picture of the future, and then you move on to highlighting your guarantees, remind them about the special offer, say that there's low stock, and then put a call to action saying click the button below to check availability to claim your discount. So make them imagine the future, or remind them of why they're reading this article, like how bad their product is, and then basically move on to answering the question, how can I buy it? Remind about the guarantees, the offers, the low stock, and anything else you find important. Keep it just simple and straightforward. And yeah, and optional, I've discussed this before. If you have products that are available on different websites, you can include this section. But if you don't want to include this section, you can just put one sentence in your call to actions that it's only available on this website, or on this website it's available at this discount. So they'll be eager to click and visit your website instead of searching for it elsewhere. And the same for the low stock. You can either create a whole section for it, or you can put one sentence about it in your close or the call to actions. And when you mention the low stock, you want to sound reasonable. You don't want to sound like it's another marketing gimmick, and basically give a reason behind what the low stock, what was the reason of it being low stock, and why is the sellout risk high. So here, this is the point where you can put more social proof. If you have more that you saved for later, this is where you can put it. And then the final close. So you've led them to the finish line. Now you need to help them make the one final step. Don't go lazy on the close. Put a lot of effort in it, just as you did in your headline. Remind them of where they are right now, of why they're even reading this advertorial, and how different things could be with your solution. They make the crucial transformative step today. So paint a picture of how the future could look for them, and seal it off with your special offer and guarantees. So here are a few examples. So turn the page to a pain-free chapter. Secure your jar now and grab the canine CBD choose for your four-legged friend. You've got nothing to lose. This brand stands firm in their promise. Love the results, or it won't cost you a dime. That's our no questions asked guarantee. Take a moment to remember those playful days, reckless zoomies, ecstatic fetch games, and you have the chance to bring all of that back. So take the decision. So today the decision lies in your hands, a choice that could reignite the spark in those eyes, the energetic sprints, and the ecstatic tail wags that used to light up your day. So every puppy deserves a chance of a pain-free life. Click the button below and check availability. So more examples here. And yeah, bonus objection handling. If you can test this straight away. You can split test this, or if you notice something is not converting well, you can analyze your advertorial, your audience, your product, and think of what objections they might have. And at the very bottom, include an extra section where you handle those objections. So most likely it's going to be fear of failure or cost of concerns. Maybe they can afford it, but they don't want to buy it because just in case it doesn't work, they'll just waste their money. So, and then they'll have their problem because they won't have the money anymore because they wasted it in your solution. So you can double down in your guarantees, highlight them more, make them more detailed. Like for example here, if you don't experience benefits, there's 100% refund. If you're not absolutely if you're not absolutely thrilled with the results, the brand doesn't want your money, simply email them here and they'll return your money. So make it very clear, very safe for them, so they don't feel like they're gonna get scammed, or if or that the guarantee is fake. Be as detailed and easy to understand as you can. So as a conclusion of it all, in value-based advertorials, you're essentially focusing on giving before you get. That's providing value before you sell. So your readers are here for the gold, and you're going to mine it for them, offering nuggets of wisdom, solutions, and insights they can't just find anywhere until you eventually lead them to your product. So the core of value-based advertorials is specific topics or listicles that provide value, life hacks, secret remedies, list-based advice. You aim to provide value. The header, set the stage right from the start with the image, with the headline, with the subheadline. The lead as well, grab their attention, like it's last bus of the night. Every sentence should magnetically pull them to the next, creating a seamless glide down the slope to the solution, your product. Introducing an expert if it's an option for your brand. Then deliver the actual value, the truth, the reason why they came to read the advertorial. Then tie the value back to your product as the ultimate solution. Then put the first call to action. Make it subtle, just put the button there. So for those who are ready to buy or click to go to the sales page, they can click the button. Then for those who stay, you explain how it works, break it down in simple details, like explain it to a fifth grader essentially, or a 12-year-old. Put social proof, explain, like paint the picture of what life looks like after using the product, and then close the deal, and then see like you can add available only on this website, not available on Amazon, low stock, and then at the very end, if you think it's needed, if there's an objection you think the customer might have, add the extra section where you handle that objection. So in essence, crafting a value-based advertorial is like plotting a treasure map where the X marks your product. So each step builds trust, maintains engagement, and creates a compelling case for your solution. Keep it simple, sincere, and solution focused, and watch as your readers go from curiosity to customer. So thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.